So I'm often asked why I don't trust the media, why I do not trust Fox, MSN, CNN, any of the mainstream. So besides some of the other stuff that I can easily point out, the clearest cut way to show why I don't trust the media is just let's look at the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So I'm just gonna go over some of the things the media said, easy things, and it takes 10 seconds. They're still saying it right now. They're still saying it right now, even after the court case. So one, Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 black people. That it was a white supremacy attack because Kyle Rittenhouse is white. Kyle Rittenhouse is of Latino descent. His mother's from. It's either his mother or his grandmother. Anyways, his mother's family's from Mexico. His mother's family's from Mexico. So technically, according to the left, he's not white. The 3 men he shot were all white. They were all white. He didn't shoot anyone black. In fact, the only person who on video has been caught shouting the N-word was the first man he shot. And he's on video shouting it a lot. The N-word. So never, and here's also the thing. So if he had shot, though, these 3 people that he shot all have horrible criminal records. I mean, horrible ones. Now, if he had shot them because of their criminal records, that's vigilantism. He would have gone to jail. But why I think their criminal records matter, even though the media didn't talk about them. By the way, their criminal records was known to the internet, me and various other people, the day after the shooting. Everything was known about them. So the media can't claim they didn't know. It was known. It was known. Everybody knew. YouTube knew. Everybody knew. At least everybody that should know. Everybody that looked into it knew. If people who just watched Fox News, CNN, MSN, they didn't know. But Rosenbaum, the first man he shot, who was white, is a convicted pedophile. And YouTube's going to mark this and demonetize it instantaneously. That's fine. But he was a convicted, and this is all in the court case, so I'm not saying anything conspiratorial. And it's not, and I'm not helping a mass murder because the court vindicated him. He's not a mass murderer. So YouTube can't flag me for helping a mass murderer. Facebook can't flag me for helping a mass murderer, even though they were flagging anybody that defended Kyle Rittenhouse before his court case because they were claiming he was a mass murderer. Anyways, Rosenbaum is a convicted pedophile who had raped 11 children and had just 15 minutes prior to being shot dead was released from his prison. 15 minutes prior was released, went out and joined a riot and got shot. So that was the first one. The first one. Hudley, I believe, was the second. He was the guy. No, Jump Kick Man was the second person, but we kind of know some about him, but nothing of him appeared in the court, so I'm not going to say anything. So none of this appeared. So Jump Kick guy, even though we know his name, we know what happened, he didn't appear in the court case, so we're ignoring him. So third one was Skateboard, which is Hudley. Hudley was also shot dead. Hudley was also white, by the way. Hudley also, contrary to what the media continuously posts him as, was convicted, convicted, by the way, these are all convicted court cases you can look up in Wisconsin and Missouri. Because he wasn't from Wisconsin either. He was from Missouri. He was farther away than Kyle Rittenhouse. But he was convicted of beating his girlfriend repeatedly. All 3 of his girlfriends he beat heavily to the point that police had to be called and they were hospitalized. He was convicted and arrested and had to pay fines for. He put a knife, again convicted, the court cases, you can go look them up, of putting a knife to his younger brother's throat and threatening to gut his grandmother. Repeated violent felons, convicted strangulation, convicted beating, convicted kidnapping, convicted So again, a long rap sheet that explains why he's violently attacking people at this riot. And then the next person, Grossen. Anyways, the bicep guy, the guy that with the Glock, which, by the way, unlike Kyle Rittenhouse, whose AR-15 was legally obtained, his Glock was illegally obtained because he had his license revoked for criminal intent, battery, and federal crimes. So he didn't have so his gun, his Glock, was illegally obtained. That he pointed, had it loaded and pointed, and admitted on video in the court. Again, he's white as well, so this isn't a white guy shooting at 4 black people, which only hitting 3 of them. This is a Latino kid shooting 3 white people. Well, he's 17, so it's, he's a teenager, a teenager, not yet adult. A 17-year-old teenager shooting men in their 30s who are white men, who are in their 20s and 30s. A convicted pedophile, a convicted beater, and then also someone who has a very violent past and who lost his right to own a gun because of his violent past, and under testimony admitted that Kyle Rittenhouse only shot him or even only pointed the gun at him when he pointed his gun at Kyle Rittenhouse, and admitted that his roommate tweeted out for everyone, was that he didn't kill Kyle Rittenhouse and empty the Glock in him that he illegally obtained. So another thing everyone brings up is that Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with a gun. One, it's not illegal to cross state lines. It's not. I cross state, heck, I live in one state now. I used to live in Idaho. Do you have any idea how many state lines I had to drive across to get here? My one of my family's from Michigan, the other one's from California. I used to drive back and forth between them. Do you know how many states I had to cross through? It's not illegal to cross state lines. Not only that, Kenosha is literally 15 minutes away from where he lived. His father was born in Kenosha. His uncle lived in Kenosha. His grandfather lived in Kenosha. He used to work in Kenosha. He used to live in Kenosha. He knew several people in Kenosha. Kenosha was a 15-minute drive away. My work is a 20-minute drive away, and it's in the same freaking town. These are all myths that the mainstream media said. And these are all provable myths. As they try to destroy a 17-year-old kid. They try to destroy him. And all of this stuff we freaking knew before even the court. But now I can say it because YouTube can't ban me for saying it. They were banning people for saying it because they said we were supporting a mass murder, who, by the way, wasn't convicted yet of it. And they're not the victims. That's the whole point of this court case. The whole point of this court case was to find out, were they the victims or was Kyle Rittenhouse the victim? Well, accordingly, they attacked him. Kyle Rittenhouse is the victim. Not only that, Kyle Rittenhouse was not the only man in Kenosha trying to defend Kenosha. There was over 100 people from the area with AR-15s and other similar weapons trying to stop the fires. That's why Kenosha, unlike several other BLM riots I can name, that's why not many people died there. Because they had while the cops weren't there, which is exactly, why, and heck, the confrontation proven in the court between Kyle and Rosenbaum was Rosenbaum lit a fire, Kyle put out the fire, Rosenbaum attacked him for putting out the fire. Which one of these do you think is doing the illegal action? And they're like, well, why didn't you call the police? Because this is day 3 of a riot that the mayor and the governor both said, no, we're going to let them speak their piece. You wonder why people started to go a little vigilante? Although technically he did not do anything vigilante according to the court. It was not vigilante justice. It was self-defense that he did. And this is according to the court. Because if it was vigilantism, that is illegal. He would have gone to jail. I'm not a big fan of vigilantes for several reasons. It's always one of those, But anyways, I digress. This is all according to the court. I watched the court like every day. I have a long work shift, so I can sit there and I can watch the whole court case. And I did. I sat and I watched it. And I watched the coverage of it. And I watched what the jury could see. Now, MSNBC got kicked out of the court. Why? Well, because they got caught trying to tape the jury, which is illegal. They got caught trying to take pictures of the jury. So that way they could, I guess, dox them, harass them, do other illegal actions. That was MSNBC that got caught doing that. MSNBC, one of the mainstream news organizations. Several other groups, although it wasn't 100% linked to any other ones, but several other people were kicked out for trying to take pictures of the jury. The president put out a text saying that I hope justice is done and I hope Kyle Rittenhouse goes to jail. That was the president. Okay, this is a 17-year-old kid who hasn't even gone through his court case yet. That every bit of footage and information show us that he committed self-defense. Now, people are comparing this like with Chauvin. It's like, Chauvin was convicted of killing George Floyd. And I can understand, from watching that tape, I can understand why he was convicted of killing George Floyd. I have other personal beliefs, but according to the law of the land, Chauvin killed George Floyd. He was convicted of murdering George Floyd. Therefore, until it's overturned, he is. Kyle Rittenhouse did not kill. He did kill. And he's got horrible PTSD that 17-year-old boy is going to have to deal with for defending the property of his community, defending his community, because the people we pay taxes to refuse to defend it. Because the police weren't there. The firemen weren't there. They were being told not to. They were being told by their superiors, let BLM riot. Let them have their say. And people wonder why we're getting fed up. I don't like living with anger. I love loving people. I don't like this. I don't like the amount of hate that the people we put in power are trying to spread between us. They're the ones dividing us. They're the ones that are lying about Kyle Rittenhouse. They're the ones that are lying to us. This is why I don't trust them. They're lying to us. They're trying to divide us. And they're trying to make us hate each other. Why? Because it sells. Because it's easier to control us. Us hating each other is what they want. They want us to hate each other. That's why I don't watch MSN. That's why I don't watch Fox News. That's why I don't watch CNBC. That's why I don't watch ABC. That's why I do not watch mainstream media. That's why I don't really watch media. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. Why did I get off of Facebook and Twitter? Why? Because they were making me feel bad. They were making me angry. And I could tell, like, I started becoming racist. I started thinking that, it's like, oh, dang, black people. I'm like, why am I thinking these thoughts? I know black people aren't evil. This is stupid. Why am I thinking these thoughts? Because they're putting them in my head. Because they're trying to make me angry. They're trying to make me feel that black people hate me. And I know black people don't hate me. I work with a lot of lovely black people. African American, whatever you want to call them. My cousin, he loves me. He's black. I know black people don't hate me. They don't know me. If they get to know me, then they can hate me, but that's fine. But I know they don't hate me. I know they don't hate me. But for some reason, the mainstream media wants me to hate them. And the easiest way to convince you to hate someone is to convince them that they hate you. And that's something I learned from living down south as well, because the war, in a lot of places down south, the war is still on. Yanks are hated heavily because, they say Yanks hate you, therefore you need to hate Yanks because they hate you. So, well, why do they hate you? They hate you because you're Southern. And it's the same thing. It's like black people hate you. It's like, well, why do black people hate me? Because you're white. Black people hate you because you're white. This is how racism is coming back into the world. And it's coming back strong. Why? Because black people think white people hate them. And white people think black people hate them. And we don't. It's Silicon Valley. It's mainstream media. It's big wigs with deep pockets that make money off of our hate. They make money off of our hate. They gain power off of our hate. Who was the, this last year, who made the most money in capitalist stock trading? That was Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi made the most money in stocks this last year. In fact, over the course of the last 20 years, she's made more money than anyone else in stocks. Because for her, it's not insider trading. Rules for me, not for thee. But yeah, no, they're making money off of our hate. They're making power off of our hate. They need us to hate each other because we're so much easier to pay for our defense, because we need them to protect us from them. And this is Republicans too. I'm noticing a lot of Republicans doing this crap too. Playing into this, the two-party system is a one-party system. I don't trust Republicans. I don't trust Democrats. There's not a lot of difference between the two of them. If you look at what they do, not what they say, what they do. There's good Democrats, there's good Republicans, but the parties are rotten. The DNC and the RNC are rotten, rotten parties. I had to get this rant off my chest. Sorry for the politics. Most of my videos have been on Hitchcock Handyman that have been fun. I'm going to try and do model videos again. If you watch this, you watch this. Thank you for listening to me get this off my chest. But I don't hate. We need to stop hating each other, people. We need, where is the love? We need the love. We need to bring the love back. Because that's how we're going to get out of this. We're not going to get out of this by spreading hate. We're not going to get out of this by yelling at each other. We're going to get out of this by learning and speaking and loving. That's what we need to do. We need to do a lot more loving. There needs to be a lot more loving going on, you know what I mean. Anyways, I need to go to bed. Have a good one.